Hi there, it's Thursday and it's Tanya. I'm from my page Botanicmy and Alchemy of Soothing Botanic Ingredients. And we are on old technology today, so let's see how it goes. It appears that my regular phone that I do my lives from just decided, okay, it's time. Maybe we should go and fetch one of the old ones out of the cupboard and move back to that. So that is exactly what I've done. If you can just give me a heads up and tell me what the sound is like, because obviously my sound the last couple of days have been havoc. So just give me a thumbs up and say yes, sound is working or not, please. And then if you would like me to give you a shout out, just go and say hi in the comments. Then we can give you a shout out. So I'm going to say so long. Hello, Jerry and Marie. Welcome, welcome. Zahira also just joined. Fantastic. Hello, Shirley. Okay, great. So I'm taking it that if you're saying hi, that my sound is actually working today, not like the other day when I was trying to do my self-care for hair, because then the sound was really bad. It's almost like the microphone of the phone picked up the sea, right? So there was a very loud sea noise and almost none of my voice. Maybe it's my phone telling me I need a sea holiday. Wouldn't be the first time. So great. Maria saying sound is loud and clear. Fantastic. Okay, so now we've got a dedicated phone to do my Facebook Lives from in future. All right, so thank goodness for old technology, and then I didn't throw it away. Oh, good. There's some more new people coming in today. Clifford Lazelle Roth. Hello. I haven't seen you on here today. Welcome. And then hi, Jill. Thanks for joining and coming to continue your continued education. So, of course, today we are carrying on with my single series. Not singles as in people, singles as in oils, because we do love our blends. But having the single oils are incredibly cool too, because then you can use them in various different applications and blend them with other oils. So today we're talking thyme. This was actually one of the essential oils suggested for a lesson by one of my very loyal customers. So this is dedicated to you today. Alison, this one is for you. So let's chat about thyme, because we all need to make time for thyme. And the reason for that is because it is resolving. It is powerful and it is expelling. And what I mean by that is thyme emotionally is called, or it's said, it's the oil of releasing and forgiving. And that's the reason why it's in one of doTERRA's very good emotional blends, not yet available in South Africa. I get mine from the UK. The reason for that, obviously, I do emotional aromatherapy consults as well, and Forgive is definitely one of the blends that we do reach for quite often. And thyme is obviously in the Forgiving blend, because it releases trapped toxic emotions, things like hate, anger, rage, even resentment, and it sort of opens you up to receive more love. Okay, so that's for the emotional side of thyme. And basically it's called, or the literal translation means to fumigate. Okay. It is a very strong smell. I mean, if you think when you're cooking with thyme, it's actually quite docile. It's a very nice, clean, sort of sanitizing, antiseptic kind of smell. But when you get the essential oil being so many times more potent, because obviously the aromatics are then concentrated in the essential oil, obviously then the smell becomes quite significantly stronger, all right? But because of that antiseptic part of it, the main properties for thyme include being analgesic, so you can even use it topically for when you are feeling discomfort. It is also a stimulant. Oh, I can see a lot of hearts coming up. That must be my hubby logging in. Hello, Herman. Love the hearts. Thank you, thank you. Keep them coming. All right. So the thyme is a stimulant. It's also very high in antioxidant support, so very good for the immune system. And then we also have properties of anti-rheumatic, antiviral, and it's also an expectorant. So you can see it's quite versatile in all the different body systems that it's going to support. And because the essential oil brand that I use, doTERRA, is also a certified pure brand where I can get my lab results from, I can see that nothing is added or taken away. So it is indeed 100% pure oil, and it also has been tested to be safe for internal use. So the doTERRA one, because on the label it actually says it is a food supplement, you can then obviously use this both aromatically, topically, as well as internally. And let's just think for a second the main chemical constituents in thyme oil. The first one is obviously thymol or thymol, however you would like to say that. There's a little bit of carvacrol in there, and now we can start seeing why it's so antiseptic, because those are the same constituents that you find in oregano or oregano, depending on which way you say it, which is practically nature's most strongest antibiotic. So you're going to have the same benefits from thyme here. Those oils will probably be quite interchangeable depending on the recipe that you are trying to make, but it also has terpenine or terpenine 4-OL in it. And these are, in other words, monoterpene phenols. And monoterpene phenols, when used aromatically, can be incredibly invigorating. All right, so really good to put in a diffuser. Topically, it's very cleansing. So really good for cleansing surfaces, especially think about cleaning your kitchen surfaces with a vinegar water solution with the thymol. Has the antibacterial and the antifungal properties, of course, and it's a really good cleanser. And then internally, because it's so high in antioxidant support, it's going to be really beneficial in supporting your immune system, but also in supporting your cardiovascular, circulatory, digestive, gastrointestinal, nervous, as well as respiratory systems. So let's look at some of the top uses that thyme oil has been reported for in literature. So one of the first things, I actually did an article about that earlier in the week on my page, the Science Monday post, was regarding bakeries actually using thyme, and they encapsulate it in their baking because it is antifungal, so it gives a longer shelf life to products. And obviously using something natural here is very beneficial, because then they don't need to add all those other preservatives that are not necessarily that good for you. Because remember, that's what preservatives do. They're keeping the bacterial or the fungal load down, and it's doing exactly the same thing to your gut bacteria. Okay, so foods high in preservatives, obviously they're there because the consumer wants a longer shelf life, but just please do remember what they are going to be doing to your gut microbes. And the gut microbes, really important, more than 80% of our immune system sits in our gut, and more than 95% of our serotonin, our feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut. So if you're continuously eating foods that are high in preservatives, you are going to be affecting both your mood as well as your immune system, just to name two of them. All right, so the top uses for thyme is to support the immune system because of its very high antioxidant content. It's also been associated to support respiratory system in a sense where it's very where you become infected in especially the lung pipe area or even the lungs. So the secondary bacterial infections, if you think it that way, those that usually follow after you having a viral infection. Okay, also really good in repelling insects. So here's a top tip. I'm going to definitely try it because the mosquitoes have started coming. And have you seen those tiger ones? You know, the ones with the white and the black legs? They come out at day. They're not like the proper Dracula mosquitoes only coming out at night. They even come into my workroom during the day. So adding thyme to lemongrass, for example, to your diffuser is going to be fantastic as an insect repellent for the mozzies coming into our homes at the moment because of all the rain, the beautiful rain that we are experiencing in especially the Pretoria area. Thyme has also been shown to have an effect on progesterone, and very many research articles are talking about thyme where it binds certain of our hormones, especially when you're dealing with cells that are proliferating uncontrollably, especially in breast tissue. And then, of course, remember your hormones. Some of them can't be too high. Some of them need to be brought down because otherwise it fuels that proliferation. So thyme, quite a lot of studies on thyme being really beneficial there. Also really good for memory and concentration. And here's a good combo because remember, rosemary is the plant of remembrance. So for example, adding thyme and rosemary together, which by the way are a really good combination smell-wise, aromatically, those two in a diffuser together with lemon, for example, can be incredibly cleansing and helping you to focus, especially if you need to do a little bit of work and you need to have your memory working really well. It's also very good if you want to support a condition where your blood pressure is a little bit lower than normal, all right? And then it's a really good place to put it underneath the feet. But then this other side of that is that if you've got high blood pressure, then obviously be a little bit more conservative when using thyme, because the thyme has been shown in certain cases. Look, it's not a general thing. It's just we always err more on the side of safety than not, right? There have been cases where people with a high blood pressure, their blood pressure actually does increase when they have thyme or when there's thyme around them because it is so invigorating and revitalizing. There's also quite a lot of research saying that when you've got discomfort in the bladder area due to, for instance, a infection, or when the muscles are not working so well, then obviously thyme is a really good oil to use. Also really good because of the analgesic properties to add to a discomfort blend. So when you're dealing with discomfort in your joints or even your muscles, and the mixture that you are making, for example, you feel there's a little something extra needed for a little bit of extra oomph in the healing the discomfort, or making the discomfort a little bit less, try and add some thyme. Right, and then obviously with fatigue, stress, and even when you're feeling slightly sad, thyme can definitely be assisting you there. So very good on the mood scale as well. So definitely on the emotional balance, how you would use thyme is from getting from feeling unyielding to yielding. So apathetic, not doing anything, not feeling like doing anything, to getting you to actually do something. All right, so really good essential oil to have around, because let's face it, some days are easier than others, and some days we just need a little bit more assistance. So there we go. Now you know you can reach for thyme. So my top places where I use, or top tips, my favorite uses of thyme is cooking. I really like cooking with thyme. It just lends a beautiful flavor to the food. And I think traditionally thyme was always used specifically for the preserving properties as well, because it's incredibly antiseptic and antifungal, right? So it makes your food shelf life last a little bit longer. That's why they use it in the bakery, encapsulated. So you can always cook with dried thyme. I love cooking with fresh thyme when I have it available in my garden, but you could quite as easily, if you've got a food supplement or a food grade thyme oil, you could quite as easily supplement the real herbs with using the thyme. The flavor profile is always slightly different, because when you're using the whole plant, there's definitely other aromatics in there that are not necessarily captured when they do produce an essential oil, because of the weights and how steam distillation works. But definitely does lend quite a lot of flavor. So, and it could be a quite nice combo by cooking with the dry thyme, for example, or the fresh thyme, and then right at the end when you've already turned off the stove, because remember the aromatic molecules with heat are going to diffuse quite quickly into the air. So in order to not release all of that into the air so that you can get the goodness inside the food, always add it at the end, just before you serve your food. And a little goes a really long way. These oils are incredibly potent, so always only start with 1 drop in, I'd say, a dish for 2 to 3 or 4 people. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. There's nothing as horrible as when it's completely sort of overpowered by a specific ingredient. All right, so hopefully learned a little bit more about thyme today. So it is an oil that is available quite freely, and it is definitely one that is incredibly versatile. So go and grab your bottle and pop in the comments what you use your thyme for most frequently. Is it for the mozzies? Is it in your cooking? Or did you learn something new today in, for instance, using it in a chest rub for respiratory support? There we go. I will see you guys all next week, Thursday, for our next episode in our singles series. If you do have a particular oil in mind that you would like me to chat about, please don't be shy. Go and pop it in the comments and we will build it into the cycle. Thank you so much for watching today. See you soon.